Alrighty, so figured let me turn that flip thingy around so I can see if I'm shooting myself. Shooting myself, yeah, good idea. Since most of us are on lockdown, well, around here anyway, and there isn't much of anything to do really, I figured I'd be catching up on a few projects around here that I was waiting for, to do during the hotter times of the summer when riding really wasn't good. Just a few things to do with a bike and make a video because, well, basically I think everybody's kind of bored and, talking about the same old Chinese thing there is, kind of getting boring. I mean, we all know it's out there, keep up on it and be safe and all, but, any type of other kind of out there videos, I guess, are kind of coming to an end. And I just figured I'd do some babbling and working on the bike and a couple other little things, video. As most of my videos go, it's going to be a long one and go on forever, so break it down into sections if you like. Or don't watch it all, I don't care. I'm just doing this to blow some time. And yeah, I got birds nesting and they're getting their families ready, and I got the one bird feeder, or not bird feeder, but bird nest, if you want to call it that. There are multiple nests, and I got some kind of red or orange-breasted family in there. I can hear all the babies chirping. Now, when I bring the bike around, I hope I don't bother them too much. I guess it was the mother or the father. Well, it looked like the mother. The orange wasn't very bright on the breast. She was checking me out when I moved the truck over there, to get it out of the way so I could set my little canopy up here and not get into the sun. And yeah, traffic is still going out here, but it seems mainly, work trucks, things to keep shelves stocked, I guess, and, the whatever running that we can keep running. So, of course, none of the bars are open or anything like that. I really haven't called the place I went to, and really, even if they were open, I wouldn't go at this point in time. I am, I'll be 63 here at the end of the month, and I do have COPD, obviously. So, yeah, I'm right there in that stay the fuck out of Dodge area. Anyway, alright, I'm going to get the bike around, get it in here and set up, and then we'll get into what I'm trying to do with that and the next little project to keep me occupied. Anyway, alright, we'll start it up again at that point. Alright. So it's kind of nice. Got nowhere to go, nothing to do. Well, I have plenty of things to do around here. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take the front of the fairing off, and I'm going to go dig in there to my Hog Tunes amplifier for the radio, stereo, whatever. And I'll be taking that apart to see why the right rear speaker isn't working again. Now, I'd taken this out, and Hog Tunes years ago, right about the time my wife was in a nursing home, and actually she died right about the time that I'd sent it out and gotten it back. And it worked fine, but they did me a solid. They warrantied it, even though it was out of warranty at the time, and said, yeah, the circuit had burned out to the right rear speaker, which I tested everything else on it already. And, you know, I plugged it in, and then when I went for a ride, about the minute I pulled it out of the garage and pulled it around front, the speaker had, or the circuit had blown again. So I figured that, well, it's in the wiring. Even though I checked the wiring harness, there were no marks or bare wires or nothing. So I ohmed them out. Of course, not turning. Well, I did turn the wheel a couple times and ohmed it at different positions, but I wasn't sweeping it while ohming it. I just don't have the connectors for those tiny plug-ins. So anyway, it blew again. I called them up and they said, well, you know, we'll have to have it sent back in again, and this time we'll send you a new wiring harness. Well, between all the shit that was going on with my wife and taking care of that and everything else, I just didn't have the time to tear into it, you know, go through the paperwork of sending it to Canada where the company's located, and I just never got around to it. So I figured, you know, it's a 6-speaker system. It's got 2 woofers, 2 mid-ranges, and then the rear ones. And the rear ones aren't even amplified. So I thought, I can live without, you know, I can live on 5 speakers. It sounds fine. But I'd like them all to work. So after doing my my preamp repair, I've gotten a little bit more confidence as to my ability to play with electronics. And now, if the circuit board has a broken or burned out pathway, I can repair that with solder as well. I've done that with Mercedes, some of their idle control units and other things way back in the day. So that wouldn't be anything new to me. If it's something else, that, you know, yeah, then I'm kind of at a loss. But this is a good time to tear it down because we can't go anywhere. So anyway, coffee time. It'll be beer time here real soon because I know my back's going to give out. Anyway, we'll get going on it. And there's nothing really exciting about it. You know, it's just taking the fairing off at the front of the fairing anyway. Fairly simple on this bike. And this is a 99 Classic that's been converted to an Ultra, except for the CB radio, which I don't need a CB radio. And yeah, I'm wearing shorts again. I got nice white legs here from being indoors all winter long. So, careful with that. My pouch, good time to clean all that off. Let me go put that in the garage. Don't want to ruin the windshield. That company went out of business. Great people, great guy that owned it. And the last windshield like that, I tried to order another one, and he was going out of business, and he dug through his pile of windshields that had been returned that were in excellent shape, so he sold me one at a good price. And that's the end of it. If I had the money, I would have, crap, I can't see anything in the shade here. Hang on a minute again, I gotta get a flashlight. Anyway, he sold me the windshield at a good price, but it's the last one that's going to be available. And I happen to like that style of windshield, and nobody else seems to make one like it. So, anyway, on this bike there are just four little Torx head screws that hold the fairing in. So, relatively simple job. You just got to be careful not to over tighten these. Pull out the thread inserts in the fairing, because this is not fiberglass. It's that stupid ABS plastic or whatever that you can't glue or do anything to. So, alright. Let me see about falling off my ass here. The other thing I guess I could talk about is I've been trying to copy. Jesus Christ, man. I'm getting weaker as hell. Alright, there we go. I've been trying to copy some of my old VCR tapes, put them on DVDs, and I was trying to copy some old ones like the California Kid, or God damn, I still can't see in here. Masters of Menace, which, by the way, that's a pretty good comedy biker flick called The Masters of Menace. It's got David Rash in it. I think I pronounced that right. He's the guy that played Sledgehammer. He's the president of the Bike Club and all that. Anyway, getting back to recording crap. Okay. The VCR, so I ordered one of those little Easy Cap devices, and yeah, it transfers over real fine. Now I'm using Linux. I even tried using the program with it for the Windows unit. I do have a Windows 7, what do you call it, computer. Actually, I got a couple of them, and I put the program in there. And I keep getting these green interference bars, which I thought at first were macro vision, but that's not, from what I see, any kind of macro vision, because it doesn't change from record or not record. So the whole thing was that I wasn't getting a proper recording on it. Now those green boxes that come up, it's like the whole picture screen, almost like tracking, but it looks more like when you're what do you call it, doing that hold on, you know, cleaning up your Windows system, and you watch all the boxes and everything start to combine. Can't remember the name now. I'm trying to think about this. In either case, that's what kind of comes up on the whole screen real quick a couple times, you know, and then it goes away, gives you a clear picture, and then it goes away again. So I've been kind of cussing about that, trying to figure out what the problem is. And I think I might have a bad adapter. You know, the thing was only about $8. And I kind of backed up for now, just giving up on it for a little bit until I can figure this out better. So I figured I'd do this, which is more important to me anyway. And I'm glad to see garbage is still running. So, alright, come on, get out of the way here. There you go. Alright. There we go. Alright, I'll put this in a safe spot. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of what the whole idea has been. Here's the, whoops, that's my antenna. Get that out of the way. There. That's a hog tubes unit. Gotta take the speedometer cable out of the way. This is an old gal. She doesn't have the electronic. Pull that out of the way. Unplug everything. And it's just Velcroed down. There we go. Alright. I'm going to plug everything here. Move it out of the way. Ah, good. I don't know. There we go. Alright. And, oh, well, that Velcro. I got that industrial strength Velcro. Oh, there we go. Alright. And on this side we have our power. Plug, and there we go. And those, I believe, are the rear speakers. Right rear, left rear, yeah. These are the front speakers. Bypass out. So I'm going to have to do that and check out what's going on inside that little box. Anyway, alright. So there you see it. There's that little part of the project, no big deal. As you can see, the Nightmare, which I'm sure the newer bikes are even worse than this, as far as wiring goes, is, you know, kind of crammed in there. But like I said, these wires, I checked them last time, and sure as shit, there's no problems with any of it going to the rear. And I might have to make up a new harness, homemade harness. So, and I've got their speakers, as you can see, the Hogtune on a tripod here, the Hogtune speakers. So, anyway, all right, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to clean that up, and I'm going to open it up, and then we'll take a look at that from there. Everybody's talking to me out here. So anyway, epilogue on the bike amplifier there. I did take it apart. I was going through it with a magnifying glass, and every circuit on the printed circuit board and everything else, and I found no problems. I owned the bypass, which the bypass was actually where the rear speakers plug into. The other side that I mentioned, which was rear speakers, was the input. So I didn't find any problems, and I dug up my paperwork. The last time they fixed it was in 2015. Actually, exactly 5 years ago. It was in March. And so, you know, I'm going to try to call them or get in touch with them. I doubt they're going to do much for me, and that's one of the problems with Hogtunes, is that there are no, like, repair centers for that, or authorized repair centers, nothing like that. They don't sell components individually. Obviously, I don't need to buy it in a kit again, because these kits are about, you know, $800, $900 for the 6-speaker, the Big Ultra, I think they call it, kit. With the woofers and all that. So, you know, I don't need that. I need a rear wiring harness and nothing but an amp. And trying to get just that is almost impossible, because they don't seem to want to break it up, and, you know, having to ship it back to them, you know, there's a real problem with going into Canada, and as many as they've sold and as big as the company is, you'd think they'd have repair centers that you could send it to here in the U.S., and I don't mind paying. I don't want anything for free. I know I've waited way too long, but this is like the first I've really cared to get back into it. So anyway, there it is. The bike's back in the barn. The old Warhorse is back in the barn, put together, and we'll go from there. So I'm not sure what projects I'm going to do today. I did have an old 32-bit computer crash on Windows, which I had multiple operating systems on. I had Vista, Windows 7, and Linux Mint on it. And Windows 7, hang on. When Windows 7 finally gave up the ghost, I imagine they shut it down, even though it, really for the most part isn't connected to the internet except when I use Mint. And Windows has this awful habit of never disconnecting the computer from the internet, so they're constantly getting into your shit. So I did a DB burn, or a DB ban, whatever. It just wipes out the complete hard drive. So I'll reinstall Linux Mint on it, and Windows can kiss my ass. I've got 3 other units with Windows still on them, so I'm not worried about that, but I do have to set up the new operating system, and that'll take a while. So that'll be a project for today, and probably a few other things I'm forgetting that I need to get into. Need to wash the puppy. He's getting pretty dirty and stinky, and that's every month thing anyway. So got to do that, and yeah, just keep him busy during these crazy times. That's all we can do, people. So anyway, good luck to everybody, and I'll try to stay in touch as much as I can. If I come up with anything new to bore you with, I'll go ahead and post it up. So, alright, man. Be good.